What's up, Everbloom Games?
Well, let me tell you, we're working on a map about cat toilets, and
Hell yeah.
We think you'll love it.
That's all I want. Well, Dan, we got most, I was gonna say the whole Everbloom crew, but I know your team is a lot bigger than
a little bit bigger than us.
28 or sorry, no, 30, I think 31 people from 19 countries.
That's amazing. So I think first off, let's talk about the team, because I think that's this is the first time I've had you on one of these interviews. So I'm kind of curious to kind of hear about, so you said that there are, what did you say, 33 in 19 countries?
I don't exactly recall the number of people, but I know there are 19 countries because we looked it up before the Minecon video.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then again, huge shout out to Ninja on the Minecon video. That was
absolutely
super cool. Your background was like, oh, it just made me want to be there.
You actually did it outside with.
I had to go outside for that.
Was that your first time
being healthy? Yeah.
Actually, the other UK person was also outside, so
that's
UK
right,
repping. I had to walk into the Peak District, which is a bunch of hills, and there's a big field full of sheep that I have to walk through. So that was, not ideal, but fun.
That sounds like a great time.
Yeah.
So yeah, awesome to have you be this huge team representing 19 countries and representing the United Kingdom too as well.
I think one of the things that's super unique about our team, well, I guess I don't know because I'm not part of other teams, is that despite how big we are, we always try and keep people like in our internal community. And, I don't like using the word family in a business because it has various problems with it. But, everybody caring about each other and everybody staying involved in projects, even if they're projects that they're not necessarily working on. So it's really great it's basically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have people observing and commenting and working because we're all over the globe.
That's cool. So, I mean, that was kind of one of the first things I wanted to kind of have as a topic was like, so you were one of the first partners that we kind of signed. I think you were probably one of the first 25. Maybe first 20?
I believe we were in the second big round.
Yeah, that seems about right. So we had 9 original. So you must have been the first 20 then, it would be my guess. It was 3 years ago, so I don't remember exactly. So how big were you then? And then, now that you're, 30 plus, what were some of the challenges that you kind of ran into as you grew the team?
Well, I don't remember. I couldn't tell you how big we were because we've lost people, we've gained people over time. But I could tell you some of the changes that have happened. We didn't have Anna. We didn't have Ridley. I think Qua was just starting on sound design. And Ninja only in the last, when was our meetup? In August of 2 years ago. Ninja was basically our only art person because she was, well, I can let her talk about that.
I mean, I started as a builder, and that's what I originally was. When we first came on the marketplace, that's what I did. I was a builder. And then from that, I've always, been involved in art, and my university course revolved around a bit of modeling as well. So it kind of made sense for me to kind of move into more of a art position, I guess, because we were finding that people were starting to add more and more art, more and more models and that kind of thing onto the marketplace. We had Anna at that time as well. So Anna was probably the first person from our team to be kind of involved in that. And
I think she was one of the first people that were added after we had already sort of gotten ourselves settled.
Yeah. So we had released a couple maps by then, but then we started properly, bigger maps, more art. I think A Nightmare in Canny World would have been our big first art project, in my opinion, at least. I think that's when we really started going.
The trial for Anna was to model King Candy to see what she did with the concept art, and we were blown away.
Cool.
Yeah. And from then, we're just grown as a art department as well. We have quite a few people now. Always pumping out stuff.
Yeah. So let's we can kind of go back to kind of some of the team stuff, but I kind of want to talk about art then. So how big is your art department now?
So we have 7 members of the art team. including myself. So that's lots of people have different can do a range of things. Like I do modeling and texturing, and Anna does modeling and animation. Like everyone kind of shares a lot of the roles, which is really good for us because obviously people have combined knowledge. So everyone can really understand what someone else is talking about. If there's an issue with the model, like we can all communicate really well, which is nice. We have a couple texture artists. We have another animator modeler, and then we always have Ridley who does all our concept art.
Can I talk about how we found him? Because I always like talking about that.
Go for it.
Yeah, while you do that, so I do have that concept art. So let me show off some of that real quick as we're talking through. So on stream you can see a lot of the concept art that Ridley kind of put together for this specific piece of content.
So the way we found Ridley was we were not actually looking for a concept artist at the time, but Planet Coaster, I don't know if it had just come out no, it hadn't just come out. I was just starting to get into it and sort of discovering the community of YouTubers doing amazing things on there. And I believe, if I remember correctly, Ridley, do you remember if Ridley does, or I guess he used to do more Planet Coaster videos of these unbelievable recreations. Yeah. Was it a Universal Studios thing? I can't remember.
I did something. There was a theme park. I'm from Spain, so I was recreating a theme park from Spain that it has DC stuff because it's a Warner Brothers park. So I was recreating like Superman stuff, and I think
that was it, the Superman stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And buildings from my city, and I think Tyria said, "Oh, I really like your art and stuff." And I think you saw some of the
so I reached out to you, which I'd never done something like that before, where I wrote to a small creator privately, and not with any particular like agenda, but just to be like, I am so impressed, I have to talk to you. And we got to talking, and it evolved into like, oh well, I have some background, and he worked on the Scribblenauts DC game. And we got to talking about some of his history and some of his work that he's done. And I think I ended up like discussing with Ninja, like I just happened upon this guy. And I feel like we've been talking on and off about how like it'd be nice to have concept art as an important step in the process. And we brought him on, and man, he has been improving drastically with every single project, doing more and more. He just did some storyboard stuff for the first time with us.
Yep. The storyboard.
That's awesome.
For a future project.
It's been so good to have Ridley on board and help with concept art. I think it helps everyone cement in their mind what they want things to like look like, so we can really talk about that between the team. And Ridley's really great at coming up with ideas. Like you're very creative, Ridley. Very creative.
It wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair to have this discussion without saying that that really applies to everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone on the team has been improving so much in our postmortems. So for people outside gaming who don't know what that means necessarily, is basically after a project wraps, or it's also a theater term. After a project or a show wraps, you get together and you talk about what went right, what went wrong, what can we learn from it before we sort of close the books. And so we start out with like a survey before our meeting, and we always have a question about. I feel like I have like agree 1 to 5. I feel that I have improved my work since this project, and it's just like always 4s and 5s, and it's great.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
I mean, I feel like that's
progressives.
Yeah, no, totally. And I think that's really the thing that I'm most impressed with your team is that, I mean, it is the quantity of content, but then the consistency of the quality of the content. I mean, basically every map that you guys ship that we look at is like, it gets, I mean, just huge rave reviews on the, and the internal team when we're kind of going into editorial. And like the fact that you can kind of do that consistently and then be releasing, 3+ pieces of content a month is very impressive.
Thank you. So yeah, the whole 3+ thing a month, that's a fairly new thing for us. We've actually been trying, I think if I recall correctly, our goal in January of 2019, our goal was release 2 things a month for the entire year. That didn't end up happening. We didn't meet that goal due to various things, including like, oh, we don't want to release while there's a sale going on, or we didn't have things ready in time, bugs, updates, things like that. So I said, this year we have to do it two a month, and we have so completely blown that goal out of the park. We have content already ready for the rest of the year into January and maybe February.
Wow.
That we're just sort of sitting on just to space out our releases.
That's sweet. That's wow. I mean, so like I kind of want to touch on that a little bit too, kind of talking about the team. So like I was kind of asking a question about like the challenges of when you were kind of growing a team. And I kind of want to rephrase that question from a like production and project management standpoint. Like, how do you continually have, all those releases going out, keeping everything, together, with, such a large team that's so distributed? Like, what is your kind of project, management process, and how do you keep everything organized?
Well, if I told you that, then I wouldn't have a job. But there's basically we have set up over the course of working on the marketplace. I've tried various programs and different options, and I've learned that, especially being on the marketplace, we have extremely unique circumstances or extremely unique needs that we need met when it comes to like project management suites and things like that. And so it's really hard to find just the right thing. So we use this website called Smartsheet, which is basically like a Gantt chart maker. It's pretty simple, but it does the job. And then basically everything else we have, because like I said, we have such specific needs, we basically use Google spreadsheets to have various tasks tracked and things like that. And then in 2020, I've spent a lot of this year working on we call ToastBot, but Toast is the name of one of our developers' roommates' cats, and I know that's yeah. So anyway, it's basically the Everbloom Discord bot, and I'm constantly adding new features to it, and basically it's brings all the things together. It brings our spreadsheets together, our documents together, Smartsheet together, so everyone can control and access it like in the middle of a conversation, which has been, it does annoy some people, but I think it's really improved our productivity, as well as the fact that I have found that it definitely works best for our team, at least, to have one, as we call them, core developers. So core developers is our term for the people who are actually in the game doing command blocks and stuff.
Gotcha.
And I found that it works best to just have one core dev on each project. So that allows us to be like, okay, we've got, if you imagine sort of four simultaneous, or four, I guess now it's six simultaneous train cars running on different tracks, and just having to make sure that they cross the station at different times, making sure that they line up in a way that doesn't throw everybody off. Because I start with that to build around it. So I say, because we want to have as little downtime as possible. So I look at all of those different train cars that represent the developers, and then I have the other teams, the art team, sound, and build, and all of that, and have to try and figure out how they can hop between the different cars without falling off.
I mean, I just love that approach. I mean, that sounds so, like, I think the thing that about it is, like, to me, the production approach is different for every team. Like, it's different for our team, it's changed over time, but like the fact that you've tweaked it and built it in a way that your team is like bought into and works for your process and works for the marketplace process, like, that's the way you have to do it. Because you can't just go and like take some box off the shelf and be like, we're gonna do Scrum, and you just like go and do it. Like, it's not that simple. So there's definitely like having somebody who is focusing on that and trying to figure out like what is the best way that we can use these tools, I think is really impressive.
Thanks. Sometimes I have doubts about it because it is so quote unquote homegrown. it feels like, we need something that just, melds everything together more. But eventually I realized, that all these improvements we were making, they are making huge leaps, huge improvements with each tweak that we make. And so, and everybody seems to be using it well. So I think that this system of Toast plus Smartsheet plus Google is going to keep working for us for a long time if we continue making tweaks. I do think that it is only applicable on the Minecraft marketplace, though. We also want to do indie games, and it's not going to work in that context.
Yep. Yeah, and that's really smart too, because it's just like you're taking the medium that you're trying to build games in, and I mean, because I think indie games and Minecraft marketplace are very different, but you're still making games. So it's like taking the medium and forming your production process to that is I mean, that's just the way to set yourself up for success. So speaking of game design, I kind of want to talk a little bit about the kind of the game design process, because that was the thing that really sort of stuck out to me as with this map in particular, because I think a lot of the Everbloom maps have you're kind of known for incredibly strong art, really strong audio, and like really kind of neat characters and things like that. I think this one, I mean, it had all of that too, but where I really was like impressed with this map is the actual specific game design, the room design, the kind of 3-room choice, the like dungeon map. Do you have like a lead designer on your team that's kind of building these ideas, or how is your kind of game design process work in your studio?
So each first of all, we're very game design first. Everything comes from the game design. We usually don't go, oh, well, we have this cool art or build and we want to do this with that, or wouldn't that be cool to have something like that? It's very game design first. We need to figure out what our design is and refine it over time. And I think we've done a pretty good job with our game design over the years. But each core developer, as I said, there's one per project, is usually the lead designer on it. So it's a requirement it's a job requirement that you also have a good design sensibility. Unfortunately, Red's Kingdom is not here with us today, but he was the core dev on this map. And they're basically so we start out with a meeting about the concept. What do we want it to be? We start out with a high concept document that we do these meetings once a month where people pitch their ideas, and we pick ones that will work. And they evolve over time, of course, as we have a meeting about the design doc. And so we have our studio's own template for design docs that are quite extensive. And then basically, it's my job to make sure that everyone is contributing what they need to be contributing, and that we're staying on top of it, as well as I sort of act as a game design consultant. So finding ways, things that we've overlooked in our design, things that we should, clarify and not just leave to chance, things like that. And so we basically, as the developer, we sort of, we all give a big push at the beginning, and then the developer kind of runs with that. And I check in periodically to make sure that we are adhering to our design doc, and if not, we're making appropriate changes, and that the user experience and design works. So it's mostly a big push at the beginning and the end, and in between, the developer relies on their own design sensibilities for it.
Cool. That's a really unique process. I like that. And I also do, like, I was not trying to say that your game design was not the first and foremost thing.
I didn't think, yeah.
But then, so I kind of want to talk about audio then a little bit too, because I think that's like, you really like have this perfect trinity of like the 3 things that make, a great game. You have great art, great audio, and great design. So, I think I want to kind of hear about the music and sounds first. We'll get into the voiceover work too, because I think that's also a really cool part. So the music in this map was really good. It just like really kind of added intensity to all the encounters, and then there was just a consistent soundtrack that was kind of happening to really make it feel like you were kind of immersed. Do you have like I think Qua was the one that does the sound work? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about your process and how you go about like composing this.
So for the music, we kind of have two different systems. We do either we create the music from scratch, which lately has been Kylidian or Kyle. He usually does that for us. For this one,
They just plug his real name, which is Kyle Martin.
Kyle Martin, right?
Yes, because he doesn't just work for us. So if you're looking for a good
Correct.
composer,
shout out to Kyle Martin.
Shout out. And for this project, it was all from Film Music IO. And for selection, there's kind of three phases, I would say. There's the first phase where I try to come up with all, I usually the sound design is already done and music comes last. What fits with the map? What are we going for? And then also kind of a general specification. And pretty much I've worked on every Everbloom map sound-wise since the beginning, except for maybe two I can think of off the top of my head. So bringing in all that experience of what's going to work, what's not going to work, and then also what feels right to me. Find all the suggestions, usually send it over to the dev, and they take a look at it, listen through it, and give their feedback from the developer perspective. Make sure it fits with the gameplay, and then back to editing, and then getting it back in game. So that's generally how that process goes.
Also, it's worth noting that Quai is no longer just our sound designer. He's also our lead sound designer. We brought on two more people. Kyle, who used to just occasionally compose for us, is now also a sound designer, as well as someone he recommended, Patrick Allred.
Cool.
I think I'm not positive I'm saying his last name correctly. But yeah, so Quai has really taken the lead on sort of directing this. It's really a sound team now.
Congrats on your promotion.
Oh, thank you.
That's awesome. And so then the second part of that is the voice work. I think that is the thing that always has like drawn me to playing Everbloom games maps, is that they just have, well, I mean, I get to hear TRS's voice quite often, but tell me, like, so I know TRS is one of the voice actors, but how many other ones do you kind of have? And then how do you work on building those lines and the actual like narrative, and then doing the actual recording?
So I actually generally am sort of direct the whole voiceover operation and then give the audio to Qua. But basically, so I have a background in acting for most of my life, and voiceover work as well as directing experience. And so I basically, once the script is written, once we know what we need, if it's a small thing like in this map, the tutorial, we realized there was a lot of information. It was overwhelming. We needed to condense it, and we thought that it could be helpful to have a voiceover. So I just did that real quick and just sent that over to Qua. But if it's something bigger, like A Nightmare in Candy World, or the Enderman Heists, then there's a whole casting process. We tend to work with a lot of the same actors again and again, but occasionally there's a unique role that we need, such as in Nether Monster Hunter, the role of Tommy, who's the main character you play. We knew we needed a real, a Bruce Willis inspired voice, somebody really deep, really gritty. And we got that. And we've been working with him, Jeremy Brown, multiple times now. And so we do casting. Sometimes I direct, other times I don't feel it's necessary, because the actors we work with are always extremely experienced professionals. And then once I make sure that it's how we want it, I send it over to Qua. And Qua, I have learned to trust Qua, because I have trouble letting go of the reins. But I've learned that Qua knows what he's doing in terms of selecting takes, in terms of acting, in terms of delivery. So he handles that, and then he could talk about that.
Yeah, so I get audio from TRS. There's usually a lot of it. And I'm gonna share this. Maybe TRS doesn't want me to. TRS records so much, so much stuff, and it's always a lot. And he gives me these little notes. So there's the take, and it's like, you know what? Actually, I think it should sound like this. You know what? Let's change that line. And I'm like, wait.
Go to the reins.
I gotta start editing this again.
Like I said, all the actors we hire are always very professional, experienced, and so they cut them perfectly. They have the exact number of takes that we need for each line, one after the other, nice and clean. And then I'll send him an hour and a half of me goofing around.
Yeah. And then you just get to go do the fun job of just cutting it all together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Different takes. Sometimes I split different parts. Someone says it this way and this way. I like this sentence. Let me put that together. This word's better here. This syllable's better here. Clean it all up and get it ready and in the game.
So question from the chat from Helen, actually. This is a fantastic question. She says, one of the things that is really important to me is diversity and inclusion, especially in the games industry. I've noticed that Everbloom Games shares these ideals. What does Everbloom do to make their company one of inclusion?
So that is extremely important to us as well. And I find perhaps activist isn't the right word, but I suppose I want to help to make a change in the industry, not just in our own. And one of the ways, but the first step in that is changing your own company. And then once you become sort of a great example, then you can set your sights on the rest of the industry and work that way. And so that's what I'm hoping to do. But I realized that obviously as a straight white cis man, I was not the best person to lead that initiative. So our QA director's wife, her name is Kitty. She is now the director of diversity and inclusion. And so basically,
cool.
I've when we set it up, neither of us really knew what we were doing, and I said, okay, so let's learn about this together. And essentially, I gave her free reign to be like, okay, you tell me what you would like to do, and we'll try and give you the resources to do it. What kind of events, what kind of programs do you want to help sponsor? What kind of things can we do with the community to help? And then we'll try and make it happen. And we have a couple of things in the works, but needless to say, we have a long way to go. We are mostly white men on the team, but we are trying to change that. So this is what we've been working on a diversity section of our website, and so this is what we've been looking at to put on there. So this is from Kitty. Everbloom Studios is for all. Everbloom believes that in order to create a game for everyone, we need to see it from the point of view of everyone. It doesn't matter our genders or races or religions or backgrounds. Our different points of view are like threads of a different color. The more that we have, the bigger, more beautiful, and colorful rope we make. Embracing our differences will allow our rope to become stronger and stronger. Ensuring that everyone is included will make that rope become stronger than ever and help us create diverse, intelligent, and thought-provoking content. With our expertise and a broad range of skills, we use Minecraft to amaze, educate, and entertain. Our team consists of some of the best map builders, map makers, artists, and programmers in the gaming community. Combining these skills together allows us to go beyond our clients' expectations and make our maps stand out. We're constantly looking for new talent to join our team, and we believe that everyone deserves a fair chance to pursue their passion. We're not perfect, we're still growing, and there's still a lot of work to do to ensure that our differences are all welcome and included. We know that everyone is different, and embracing these differences will allow our company to grow and thrive.
That's awesome. I mean, that's truly, like the fact that you guys are making such an investment is something that I also believe, very heavily in is it's just incredible. It's incredible that the marketplace has given you that opportunity to do that. And the fact that you've kind of grown your studio in a way that allows you to have the resources to invest in that kind of thing is, I don't know, it's amazing.
I have so much, you guys know, but I have so much respect for you all in making sure that you do have a diverse workforce, and that's especially as somebody who's a disability activist, like that's amazing. And I always point to people who say, oh, well, I have autism, so I'm not going to ever be able to do anything with Minecraft. And I'm like, no, actually, like I'm on the spectrum, and look at all these marketplace teams. Like, look at Everbloom Studios and how they purposely have an inclusive culture. So I kind of use you guys as like the gold standard of what other teams should aspire to be. Love it.
So then last topic I have, because I want to touch a little bit on that concept art because it's just super, super cool. I kind of want to hear from Anna, because one of the things that I saw on the concept art, and I'll show it back on the stream again, is that along with the kind of sketch that you had, there's also a translation into more of a blocky type like creature. Is that something that Ridley does? And then you kind of take that, Anna, or is that something that you do? And then how does that influence your, kind of model entity building process?
Yeah, so Ridley actually does that, and it's always super helpful when he does. It basically gives me a better idea of the concept that he's come up with and helps me translate that into 3D much faster. So if Spurley wants to comment on that, he can.
Actually, sometimes I don't put them because they actually. I spend a lot of time with because all the straight lines and all that, they have a lot of detail. So I actually spend a lot of time on the Minecraft versions of the art more than the concept art itself sometimes. But it's true that the thing is, I'm really proud of the work that Ninja and Anna and all the other team members of the art team do, because I usually do crazy stuff sometimes in the concept art, and I actually like that we are making things that are more complex right now than before, and every time we're trying to make them even more natural and with animation and all that. So when I do the Minecraft, the blocky versions right now, I usually put a note like, if you have any idea of how to improve it, because I know you Anna and Ninja knows how to improve the things here or there that I didn't think about making in the blocky version. So they actually work on it and add some stuff I didn't add in the art, and it's like every time I watch the models and the animation, I was like, oh my god, it's amazing. They do a great work.
Yeah, I mean, just like, I think the entities in this map are super cool. I mean, there was like the goblins had two different versions. The one with the treasure on their back, the crossbow ones, like the wraith things, the giant like stone golems. Like they all just had just such character to them, which is awesome. So
the best part of to echo what Ridley said, really the best part of this job is being in our Discords, being in a place where we all have ideas, and then you wake up one morning, you're like, you see something that you couldn't even imagine was possible in Minecraft. You see your idea come to life, or someone else's idea come to life, and it is just so exciting and so remarkable to see each of these people on their own personal artistic journeys making something toward a greater goal. Obviously, I just defined what game design is, but it's very exciting.
Yeah. So then, some last question I have, and this is for each person on the team, and we can start with we'll go bottom up. So start with TRS, go Qua, Ridley, Ninja, then Anna. What was your most favorite thing working on this map, or was the coolest thing that you worked on, or saw, or whatever? What's your coolest memory?
I was not prepared for this.
I know. Sorry. If somebody else has a good an answer, feel free to jump in.
I can take over. Oh, go ahead, Helen.
I was just going to say, I have a great memory of eating lunch with TRS. We had spaghetti, yeah? Yes. Oh, that was fantastic. That was one of the best plates of spaghetti I've ever had because of the great memory.
Oh.
Oh.
So for me, the best memory I had is this was a unique process because this was the first project that Patrick Allred was working on. So it was a new experience, I guess, working with someone else on sound stuff that was designing alongside me. So, and there's always different ideas. I think one way about designs, and then to have someone else come in that does the same work you do, and they have a different design. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa! I never thought about that. That's a good idea. Let's roll with that. That means we can do this and this. And just having that creative bounce back, which we normally have anyways, throughout the whole studio, but just working very heavily directly with someone was a pretty cool experience.
Okay,
awesome.
I think I thought of something. I will say in advance, I don't remember how this was resolved, but it was.
Okay.
That something that happened. So when we started this build, this was a huge build. It can be kind of hard to tell, but this is a massive amount of work because there are, I don't know how many variations of like 25 different rooms or something with different themes and block sets and each, individually made. And so originally those were laid out sort of horizontally, like all in one big line, or it was in a grid, so that each one had its variant, next to it. And one of the issues was, and we make our maps in Java, or build our maps in Java, and then convert them. And once it was converted, we realized that teleporting constantly across, thousands of blocks was not a good idea. And it's not only did it slow down the game, on lower tier devices, it caused crashes. And also all of that empty space can cause lag. And so I said, so how are we going to deal with this? Because our developer had already started like writing down coordinates for stuff. I mean, do we just have to throw all that out and start again? Because clearly this isn't going to work. So we, again, I can't remember how we did it exactly, but we basically took each of these rooms and packed them in to like almost like a molecular structure. We packed it in really tightly so that everything was as close as possible, while still making logical sense for the developer to be like, okay, well, this is where this variant is, and that's where this is. And eventually we got it working. Again, I can't remember how.
But there was some trial and error there, maybe just a little bit.
It was a scary realization, and we overcame it. So
nice.
that's very memorable. Yeah,
I like that. I think Ridley is up next. I think Kwa had his.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, the thing that I like most about, well, I wouldn't say only this map, like all the maps we are working, it's that every time we improve a little bit on the art team, like myself and the others, we try to, as I said before, we try to improve a little bit more every time we make a new map, a new project. And the mobs here were really fun to make. And this started from from the beginning of this year, where we were getting better at creating more complex mobs. And I think this map and one of the and another map of with aliens were some of the first maps where we tried to go a little bit more far of the type of designs we were creating for mobs. Because when I started, for example, with Everbloom, we couldn't do a lot creatively in the, like, for the mobs and things. We had to base a little bit on everything on original Minecraft, and it was really hard to work, actually, because you had all these ideas for characters and things, and Minecraft had some limitations, and we are starting to break those limitations a little bit, but still on the Minecraft style. That I think it's one of the important things that always Ninja tries to keep really well there. And yeah, it's really fun. And for example, I think I had a lot of fun creating the traders. Those are my favorite characters from the whole map, I think. They're like these guys that sell you stuff in the game, and we created I made this in the art, and I thought this is not going to be able to be done in Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see, I don't know who created these models, if it was Ninja or Anna. But then I see the model in 3D and everything, and it had the animation with the things in the backpacks animating with the fish and everything, and I was like, oh my god, it's perfect. You guys are amazing.
That's cool. I love that.
We even have a map that we love Ridley's concept art. We always want to get a chance to show it off. We have a map where we've actually been able to work the concept art into the game play itself. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Ninja, you're up.
I mean, for me, like pretty much every map we do, like the support that the art team and the rest of the team as well, to be fair, with each other, with feeding back, and just it's really uplifting to see everyone be like so kind and warm to each other, and like the feedback is always so good and constructive. So to see that, especially big projects like this, where we had such a wide range of like mobs and creatures that we were doing, it was really nice to see how everyone would collaborate with that, and watching them come alive from like words on a document, and then from inspiration images in the art bible to concept art to model texture animation, like they all come alive, and it's just such a amazing collaborative effort that, I mean, for me, this project, I just art directed, and it was a very smooth project, just purely because everyone is so good at communicating with each other and talking, and hitting those deadlines, really working really hard to kind of get the best quality we can. Each map, we're improving on that and working on that beyond even what I'd expect.
That's awesome. I mean, I love the idea that there's just like such a collaborative process across everything, like the art, the audio, the design. That's great. Last up is Anna.
Right. I think my favorite one to model was definitely the trader, the merchants. Just getting the backpack and all like the stacking items was really fun. And then besides that, I think the Wrath boss was my favorite. I'm not sure if you've encountered that one yet or not, but that one
No,
was
that was the
really
only one we
fun
didn't fight.
Yeah. That one was really fun to animate once I got to that point.
Awesome.
Yeah, like the fabric animations and stuff that you did with those was so beautiful.
Well, Everbloom, thank you very much. I love talking with all of y'all. It's
Thank you, us too.
It's great to hear more about how the process works, just hear your experiences and learn more about your team and everything like that. So
yeah,
thank you very much. If you have anything to plug, feel free to talk about any of the upcoming maps that you got.
Well,
roll off the list.
Yeah, I can't talk about many of them, but we have got such unbelievably exciting things, like nothing you have seen yet.
Oh, okay.
And you know about it, Quinn.
I mean, it's true.
And honestly, I mean, this sounds pretentious, but check out everything we do, because everything we have coming up is so exciting.
It's true, though. I mean, that's the thing. That's what I was saying in the beginning, is that there's the consistent quality. It's just the truth.
Yep, absolutely. I second this.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, Anna, Ninja, Ridley, Qua, TRS, thank you very much for joining. And I'm gonna sign off the stream, do a little rating, and then y'all have a good weekend.
Thank you so much. You too.
No problem.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Thank you.